Long ago, in the mighty empire of Babylon, lived a man named Daniel. From the days of his youth, he had been taken from Jerusalem and brought into captivity. Yet even in a foreign land, Daniel never abandoned his faith in the God of Israel. He studied the scriptures, prayed daily, and lived with wisdom and integrity. Because of this, God's favor was upon him, and every king he served recognized his excellence. In time, King Darius, ruler over Babylon, appointed Daniel as one of 3 governors over the kingdom. Daniel excelled above them all, and the king planned to set him over the entire realm. But jealousy grew in the hearts of the other officials. They despised Daniel's favor and sought to destroy him. They searched for faults, for corruption, for anything to accuse him of. But Daniel was blameless. His only devotion was to his God. So they devised a cunning plan. They approached King Darius and said, "O king, live forever. We advise that you establish a royal decree. For 30 days no one may pray to any god or man except to you, O king. Whoever disobeys shall be cast into the den of lions." Flattered by their words, King Darius signed the decree, not realizing the trap laid for his faithful servant. But Daniel knew of the law. Still, he would not bow to fear. He returned to his home, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, and 3 times a day he knelt down to pray, giving thanks before God, just as he always had. His enemies spied on him and rushed to report him to the king. When King Darius heard, his heart sank. He valued Daniel and realized he had been tricked. All day, he labored to deliver Daniel, but the law of the Medes and Persians could not be changed. At last, the sentence was carried out. Daniel was brought before the den of lions. Their roars echoed within the pit. The king looked at him with sorrow and said, "Your God, whom you serve continually, may he deliver you." With that, Daniel was lowered into the den. A great stone was rolled across its mouth, and the king sealed it with his own signet. That night, King Darius could not eat, could not sleep, and could not rest. He fasted and spent the night in anguish. But while the king tossed in his palace, something far greater was happening in the darkness of the den. The lions circled Daniel, their eyes gleaming, their jaws wide with hunger. Yet before they could strike, a radiant presence filled the pit. The angel of the Lord stood beside Daniel, stretching forth his hand. Instantly the lions' mouths were shut. Their growls fell silent, and they lay down as tame as lambs at the feet of God's servant. All through the night, Daniel remained unharmed. He had not been abandoned. God had sent his messenger to protect him. At the first light of dawn, King Darius hurried to the den.
"Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?"
O king, live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him. Nor have I wronged you, O king.
At once the king rejoiced. Daniel was lifted out of the den, and not a single wound was found on him, for he had trusted in his God. But those who had plotted against him did not escape judgment. By the king's command, they were cast into the den themselves, and the lions overpowered them before they even reached the floor. In awe of this miracle, King Darius issued a new decree to all peoples, nations, and languages in his kingdom.
"I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men must tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall have no end. He delivers and rescues, and he works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth, who has delivered Daniel from the power of the lions."
The story of Daniel in the lion's den is not just about ancient Babylon. It speaks to us even today. It reminds us that God's protection is real. His angels still surround those who fear him. When you face trials that feel like lions circling you, when enemies plot against you, or when the world seems to close in, remember that God has not left you alone. His hand is mighty to save, and his angels are sent forth as guardians of his people. Like Daniel, stand firm in your faith. Do not let fear silence your prayers. Even in the darkest pit, God's light will find you. The same God who sent his angel to Daniel is the same God who watches over you today.